Hello, my name is Anne Brock. I am a pre-sales consultant at RightStar Systems. I'm here today to show you what's new in Remedyforce Winter 17. This just GA'd, became generally available last week, so I'm very excited to show you some of the cool things that are part of it. A little bit about me. I was with BMC Software for about 15 years before coming over to RightStar Systems and working with them and their customers. It's been a great shift to move over to RightStar. RightStar has been a BMC partner for 13, 14 years, very strong partner, and we can implement all of BMC's solutions and help you with process consulting as well. Gotten a lot of awards and designations over the years as well, so you can know we are trusted. But diving into Remedyforce Winter 17, wanted to mention some of the things that got improved first. A lot of it is around the Remedyforce console interface and how the forms work. So I've got a list here, but we're going to go see what these looks like. The key thing is we're trying to modernize the interface, bring it up a little bit cleaner, have some things for you. So what does this look like in reality? Let's go over and look at that console. And as you can see, this is a cleaner console interface than the prior version. A little bit lighter, a little bit cleaner. And actually, if you wanted to, as an administrator, you can even hide this sidebar permanently. I like to leave it up there, but if you want to hide it, you absolutely can. Another thing you'll be noticing is there's some different colors here, right? There's some incidents that are blue, some incidents that are black type, and that's because you can now highlight incidents that have new activity against them. And they'll be highlighted until, as an analyst, I do something in them, the appropriate actions, then they will go ahead and turn to black. So trying to give some more visual cues to people right on the console of things they might want to take a look at. Another thing that has been asked for a lot and is available in this version has to do with columns. In the past, the administrator decided what columns were available in the view. You now have the ability, each of you individually, to decide which columns you want to see. So I hit that little three-line icon in the top right, and I see all the columns that are available based on what my administrator said they would allow me to put into my console. I can only pick 15 of the columns, but I can pick 15 different columns than other people have. So maybe I want to see these last three, time spent in current status, total duration, and total work time, but I don't care as much about some of these other things. So I've set my console view appropriately. Over in my Internet Explorer, I'm logged in as Sally. Sally wanted client follow-up date and open date. So she went into her column view and she modified those as well to be the fields she wanted to see. The fields I cared about, she decided to leave over on the left. I know a lot of people have been wanting this. It's now available. So along with being able to develop custom views in terms of which data you see, you now can also choose which columns you want to see. That was a biggie for a lot of our customers. Another thing in the console just has to do with this. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing there. I'll get back to my console. Highlight these and just mention that you can change the owner. You can now assign to me, also available in the incident, so you can do that quick assignment thing. So that's a console, some really nice changes there. When I'm working on a particular service request or incident, I'm going to go ahead and expand this for now. You notice, again, a very different look and feel. The idea is to have this a clean look and feel, not as heavy. I will mention, as part of the upgrade, everybody does get moved to the new console. This is one of the few upgrade features that doesn't allow you to choose whether to implement it or not. When you do upgrade to Winter 17, you will have the new console and the new ticket look and feel. Hopefully it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier for people to use. Really cool thing, though, while you're on the ticket is over here on the right, this activity feed. I no longer have to go down to the bottom of my ticket to see my notes and my emails and my attachments. It's right over there. So all my actions are available over on the right. My attachments are over on the right as well. I can even email from here or add a note, send email, add a note, do things from there as well, rather than having to go up to my menu, which is where I used to go to add a note. So having it over on the right should speed things up just a little bit for some analysts. Is this faster? And go ahead and add that. That's a private note, of course. So that activity feed on the right, we're hoping will make you all more effective, more efficient, make people easier to see what's going on in the ticket. The other thing to make it easier to see what's going on in the ticket is Smart View. This has been around before. It's just been a bit enhanced in this version. I don't know if you are using it or not. The idea being on this service request, I can see there are 5 tasks, and I can see the task over here as well. And some record details you can see over on the right. as I click on these. It's changing what I'm looking at. Go back to my service request. I can see that I have actions and attachments here as well, so I don't actually have to be in that other view. I can see them from here as well. If I had any notes or anything on my tasks, I would see them as over here on the right as well. Maybe I need to say need to work on this. I can add my notes, and these are available in the Smart View. So Smart View has been enhanced to include actions and attachments, just like the activity feed on the main record. So you can see there are some tools out here now that will make your support agents more productive, make it easier to find out what's going on with their records and their service requests and their incidents. And this is across, by the way, this activity feed and whatnot is across object types. It's not just incident. I'm just showing it on incident. So those are some of the things that happened in the console. And I think I've hit everything I wanted to hit. So let's go back to the slideshow. You can see we saw that new interface. We saw how within the form you can see the activities on the right. We saw you could customize your columns, saw smart views, and again saw that you can highlight records in the console that have new activities. Let's talk about self-service. A lot of you who have been using the product before know there was a self-service 2.0 that was in beta. It's no longer beta. If you are upgrading, you do have the choice if you want to continue using the 2.0 interface or move to the 3.0 interface. If you are new to Remedyforce, when you provision a new org, you will have the 3.0 interface. Again, the goal of the new self-service portal is to make it cleaner, better look and feel, but to still be able to do most of the things you were able to do in the 2.0 interface. There's documentation out there on how the two match up. So if you are using 2.0 and you're wondering about 3.0, if you go to Communities, Remedyforce, and look at the documents out there, you'll see one for the new self-service interface FAQ. So that's new, and we're going to take a look at it in a second. The other thing I want to mention was Smart Practices. Smart Practices is basically a set of pre-configured data that can be brought into the orgs. Most of you have probably done that on your prior orgs, especially when you're first setting it up, to get some data in there initially. The number of Smart Practices has been expanded, so now there are Smart Practices for facilities and human resources, and we'll take a look at how to get that as well. Let's take a look at that new self-service portal. Here I'm logged in as Jackson, my favorite self-service user, and he's looking at that new self-service portal. As you can see, you can do some of the things in here that you weren't able to do with the beta, like being able to do approvals from here and being able to view service health. Service health was new in last summer, but was not available in the beta self-service portal before. The idea being there, you can put items out against your services, and Jackson can see when there's an outage. So those things are now available in the self-service portal. There have also been some minor icon changes to make things stand out a little bit better. So the different knowledge article types have different icons and some pictures down here. The other main thing around this has to do with looking at things, right? So here's my activity feed where I can see the things I have looked at in the past or I've opened in the past. I can look at it by myself. I can look at what I've opened for others. But if I bring one of these up, I can now see any attachments and any public notes as well. So here I can see there's an attachment here. I can see there's a note here. I can see those kinds of things as well. So along with enhancing some of the titles that are out there, I've also added some details in when I'm going in to look at my service request. So the self-service interface has been enhanced a bit. And again, this is now no longer beta. This is the official one. New customers will get this moving forward. Existing customers can decide when you want to move to it. It's a very simple switch that you do in the configuration side to say if you're using 2.0 or 3.0. The other piece I wanted to mention around this is actually what's out here. So as you can see, I think, if I type in facilities, you should be seeing a whole lot of facilities things, service requests out here. And no, it must be under something else. Well, that was a bad search. But you can kind of see how you work through the self-service interface. Let me go ahead and go home. So Smart Practices was what I was aiming toward and didn't quite make it there. But the idea with Smart Practices is, again, bringing in a whole bunch of service requests. Just do a better search than I did. Those are available out on Communities. So if I go into my Remedyforce administration and I search for Smart, I'll see Import Smart Practices content. I'll see the link right there. That brings me into this particular community page. So you can see we've got HR Smart Practices and Facility Smart Practices now. We did have the regular Smart Practices before. And again, these include data for things like business services, categories, templates, etc. So it's very easy to go ahead and start off with a set of facilities and set of HR data, as well as the initial smart practices content. The idea here is if you are planning to expand Remedyforce across your organization, these will get you started. So a really nice way to get things up and going. And over here, I've opened up my service request definitions, and you can start seeing things against the facility service and the human resources service. These are things that got brought in by smart practice. So if you decide you are expanding those departments and you want to start off with a set of data, absolutely import in that smart practices content and take a look at it. Of course, our reports and things, so you can see what's included in those and decide if you want to keep them or not. So along with the improvement on self-service, there are additional smart practice content to help you improve your self-service and get people doing more things through self-service. I'm going to talk about something a little bit different now. As you all know, we've had normalization before in the CMDB. Normalization is saying if I bring in a record, let me normalize what that record is, the title of the software. I don't want some people saying Office, some people saying MS Office, some people saying Microsoft Office. So normalization was around data normalization. What's been added in Winter 17 in beta is a reconciliation process. Reconciliation says if I import in a record and I already have a record in there, combine the two records. Don't have two different records. Okay? So maybe I have a discovery tool running that finds a whole bunch of desktops, but I'm also importing in a spreadsheet from my vendor that has desktops. I don't want two records for the same desktop. With reconciliation, you can actually go ahead and make those two records merge or make sure those records combined. So you can see here some reconciliation rules. You basically have to say, how are you identifying them? So you enable the reconciliation, you create the rules, and then it decides, if there's multiples out there, it doesn't know which to match with. So it's not going to go ahead and match. There's one matching record out there, so I've already got a desktop record in there. Another record comes in for that desktop, it's going to go ahead and update it with that new record. If a new record comes in for a desktop and there's not an existing one, it'll create a new record. So this is pretty important if you're getting data in from multiple sources to minimize duplication in your CMDB. Read up on this. There are some qualifications around this. That's why it's still in beta. So there are some caveats and things out there that you can read up on the documentation site. But this is very cool because this is a piece that wasn't in there before, and now we're able to start doing some of these kinds of things. This again will be done in Remedyforce administration. I come into my Remedyforce or administration home, type in reconciliation, type it correctly. I can see my reconciliation rules. And I only have one rule out here just to kind of show you how it's done. And I kept it pretty simple. I set it a matched serial number and system OID. That's what I'm going to look at. So both those things are true on an inbound record compared to an existing record in the CMDB. It's going to combine them or update the existing record with the new record. If that doesn't exist, I'll get a new record. So it's a new concept in the Remedyforce world. We've had this in other products. New concept in this world, but a pretty cool one. So give it a try. Obviously test it out in Sandbox first. Read those caveats on the doc side, but that may be something that's going to be useful for some of you who have more intensive CMDB needs or multiple discovery sources coming in. It may even be that you've done discovery before out there, but you did, again, get a file of records from a site, and you want to bring in that new information, but you want to make sure that you're not creating new records unnecessarily. Maybe they came in through barcode scanning or something like that. So wanted to mention that. Reconciliation is part of the product now, and it's something we can all start learning and playing with. A few useful links here. I know it's probably not the easiest to look at links through a WebEx, but I'm going to go ahead and leave these up for a second. So there is a self-service 3.0 FAQ on communities. Just go to communities, go to Remedyforce, search on the 3.0 FAQ. I'm sure you'll be able to find it pretty quickly. The doc site, of course, has what's new. So if you go to docs.bmc.com, go to Remedyforce 2017-01, look for there. It'll have the list of enhancements. There are some other things I didn't mention today. Type ahead in some other things that may be of interest to you. So go review that What's New document. And finally, for more details on the reconciliation in that same Remedyforce 2017-01 documentation area, there is information on the reconciliation beta. You just go to the doc site, go to Remedyforce, and search on reconciliation. You should be able to find that as well, in case you don't want to try and type in this long URL. I just want to mention that information is out there, and I think it'll be useful to you as you're looking at 2017. Remember, 2017 will be pushed into your organization. I believe it's happening in February or March. I don't remember the exact time frame. Sandbox is beginning of February. The production will follow after that. So you do want to get familiar with it ahead of time. Again, for you that are upgrading, most of the things will be delivered disabled, but the Remedyforce console will be enabled. So you definitely want to read up on that and maybe even test it in your sandbox. That's all I had for today. If you want any help on moving to 2017, or if you have other Remedyforce projects that are going on that you just don't have the bandwidth to get to, please do contact us. We'd love to help you out. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later.